Video number 2 for stop motion animation. This is where we take an image, whether we sketched it, found it on Google, or taken the picture ourselves and prepare it for movement in stop motion. Make sure you're in Photoshop. Open the image of choice. I found myself some nice skeletons. I'm going to make them larger. We have 2 ways to do this: selection and removal from the ground. One is with Quick Mask. Hit Q, grab a brush, make sure you are painting with black. Proceed to paint over only the image area you would like until you have a complete image. I'm just going to give you a rough, I'm just pretending that I am filling in. Don't forget, hold shift, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, click, drag, click, drag. I'm going to look at my Quick Mask. It is a black mask. It is not complete, but that is how we do this. Quick refresher. Release Quick Mask. Now you have a maskier shape. Command J gives you new layer. We're not going to do that for this lesson. There's an easier way because we have such a clean white ground. I only want this skeleton that's face on. So I am going to delete and fill with white the left side. Delete and fill with white the right side. Now all I have is one image. I'm going to center it on my page. Deselect. Ooh, while I am at it, let's get our image size correct. Image size. We're working high res. Let's convert this to 300. We don't have a choice. That's the image you found. Make sure your images are high res from the start. 72 DPI does not process upwards to create high res. We know this. In this case, we don't have a choice. I know I need a 9-inch tall file. Well, it's square. We need a rectangle. So we can't program the width in. We can set the height. Click OK. View fit on screen. There it is. Let's zoom it out. Now, we want to make it wider because of the aspect ratio of a movie. Image, canvas size, leave it centered, 16 inches wide, done. Look, centered and right for the exercise. Zoom in. We are going to use color range to get this figure. Select. Color range. Reset it to 0. Click in the white area. You'll see it doesn't select everything because there is some gray tone around this skeleton. Leave it at 0. Grab the plus tool and add to your selection. Try to get as much as you can without adjusting what they call the fuzziness. You can click and slide over a color to guarantee you've gotten it. Click and slide, click and slide. You're going to get to the point where you have every single piece. And as I look, I feel very comfortable. That's very, very clear. Now, fuzziness. This adds a little bit of extra edge. Look how it's coming in. See how it grew in? But it's also taking away the center. We don't want that. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit until we're happy. That's about as much as you can do. Click OK. I don't mind if I lose a little bit of the body, but look, we're back at the selection. We could check the Quick Mask. Let's go over to channels. Turn off RGB, look at the Quick Mask. Wait a second. This is the background, not the foreground. It doesn't matter. You can select all. You can image, adjust, invert. There you go. You inverted your quick mask. Now zoom in. See these little dots? This is where you grab your paintbrush with black and you can paint those spaces in. So guys, take the time to get your mask right. Don't have holes in your art. There we go. Release quick mask. There is a selection of my skeleton. Command J. Puts it on a new layer. Throw away the original. And now we have, I'm going to grab the move tool. Whoops. Make sure I'm on the layer. We have a floating skeleton now. Good job, guys. You did it. Now, save as. In the appropriate folder. Desktop is not it. This should be on your hard drive in an animation folder. We're going to call this Skeletons PSD. That is your base working file with layers. Minus. Now, we want this skeleton to dance. We want it to dance across the screen, but we want the arms and legs to move. So we're going to put it to the left. And we're going to call this our start point. I want it to move from left to right. So this is our first file. Please listen clearly to the next steps. You have a transparent background. You have no layers but your main image. In order for this to remain transparent and be used outside of Photoshop, we cannot save it as a PSD. We have to file, export as a PNG. It's transparent. Make sure transparency is selected. Click export. Make sure you are using your animation folder. Mine's called desktop. It is PNG. I'm going to click to the front or in the middle after the word. Do not ever change the dot prefix or you will never open the file again. Space 1. There's my first image. Now it's filed and it's saved. Now, we want to create motion. So what we're going to do is create 4 layers. Left arm, left leg, right leg. We are not going to spend hours making this joint. We're just going to go right along the joint. We're using a lasso tool. You can go right off the page, right up. Command J. Look at your layer. There's a layer. Don't worry about what's next. Go back to your base layer. Get your lasso. Make the next joint. Command J. Don't forget, return to your background or you're not copying anything. Look, now we have two separate layers. Back down. Try to connect it from the hip joint. Go down around. And boom. Command J. Back down to the background layer. Let's do this leg. Back down and out. And Command J. If I turn the background off, you'll see I have 4 appendages. Turn my background on, turn my legs off, I still have a full skeleton. That's not going to work because we need to have just the torso and head. So what I'm going to do is Shift, Command, click, 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 click. All 4 layers. Look, Q. I just loaded them. Now I'm going to go to my layer. Background only. Delete. Delete. There's my torso. We have 5 layers. Arm or leg, leg, arm, arm. We don't need that on the first file. We don't need that necessarily separated, but you know what? We just did a lot of work. We have 5 layers. This is skeletons.psd. We want to save that. File, save. Now I have not only the original, but I have the layered version. We have our first PNG saved out. In order to make our second, we are going to rotate and manipulate the legs and the arms. You don't need to start in any order. Start at the top, work your way down. Command T to transform. Let's bend his arm out. Now we're going to have to realign it so it's in. Connect it. Click to the next layer. Command T. Let's bend this one out. Double click. Next layer. Command T. Let's bend this one out. There you go. Connect it back in. And the last, Command T. Bend it out. There you go. We've just extended the arms and legs out. What we're going to do at this point is save another PNG by exporting as a PNG with a transparent background. Now, you are going to make sure that when you do this, you call this one Skeletons 2. Then you're going to hit save. And there it is. Now, so we went from still to spread out. Now what I want to do is make sure all my layers are selected. Grab the move tool. I'm going to move it a little bit. We're going to create motion. We're going to deselect. We're going to now go back. Command T. Let's do it one more time. Even bigger. Let's go to the next one. Command T. One more time. Even bigger. That's it. One more time. Even bigger. Over and out. Now down to the next one. Command T. Bend it out. Over and out. It's like he's doing jumping jacks. We just made another motion. File. Export as. PNG. Export. Skeletons 3.png. Save. There you go. Now, turn all your layers on so they're all locked. Move it over again. And now what I think we should do is move everything backwards so it looks like he's doing a jumping jack. So I'm going to go to my top. Command T. I'm going to bring it back in. I'm going to go to my next one. Command T. I'm going to bring it back in. I'm going to go to my next one. Bring it back in. Go to my next one. Bring it back down. Bring it back in. We are moving it like a joint. Don't worry about the little gaps and things. If you want to tweak it to that degree, that's on you. I'm trying to show you an exercise. That's it. File. Export as. PNG. Export. We are going to call this one Skeletons. Sorry, I'm struggling. Skeleton 4. It's good to have a gap so you can see. Save. Okay. Now, load them all. Move it over a little bit more. Deselect. Command T. Let's bring that arm in the rest of the way. Let's put it back to where it was when we started. Let's Command T. Let's bring this one back in to where we started. Down to the next one. Command T. Bring it back into where we started. And one more down. Command T. Bring it back in to where we started. You can move it in. You can always move it later. So now we've reset the skeleton. File. export as, PNG transparent, export. Make sure you save this as 5. Save. Done. Now, don't save the PSD because you'll save over the original. If this is where you're going to stop for the day, please listen. You are going to have to do File, Save As. It's a PSD. It is Skeletons, but it is not the original. This is Skeletons moved. And now you know this is where you start the next day. So at this point, let's pretend we just made 20, 30, 40, 50 moves. We're done. We are going to close and leave Photoshop. Okay? My desktop is where I'm storing my files. That is not where you're storing yours. I'm going to open iMovie. I am going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to start a new movie. I'm going to import my PNG files from my desktop. 1 through 5. Open. It's that easy. You're going to go up and highlight them. Drag them into the viewfinder. Look at this. They're already moving. Look at those legs and arms moving out. Okay, yes, it is very clunky, class. That's because I did 5. You need to do probably 5 times what I'm doing. So for every one movement I made, you need to make the movements 5 times smaller. But all I want you to see is how easily I put this together. Now, if you want to test it, I would recommend you throw some transitions between frames because it softens the effect. File, share the file. I'm going to put it on my desktop. Save, pretend again. That is my folder. There it goes. All right. I'm going to go back to my media window. I am going to now look for this file on my desktop. It's not finished yet. It's still saving. Give it a second. And there we have it. So if I look on my desktop, there's my little movie. You can import it by clicking the import button. Go to your desktop and you will see my little MP4, my movie. You will open that up and you will see if I do right here, that's the movie. It's 20 seconds where these are clips, okay? I'm going to delete these because I'm done with them. I'm going to bring the movie down and it's already in sequence. Now watch the movie in the upper right when I hit view play. It's slowly moving, but watch. Bloop. Bloop. Now the in and the out is called the Ken Burns effect. You don't have to have that. We can turn that off before we start. But look at the motion. Okay, so now if I do this, speed the clip, go to fast, go to super fast, copy, paste, copy, paste, 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 paste. I'm cheating, guys, but watch from the beginning. Very clunky, but yet effective. So let's stop it. Let's go from the beginning, view, play from the beginning. There we go. Look at it moving. It's dancing with very poor frames per second, but it's still dancing across my page. That's another animation. So you can copy and paste your motions using speed and transitions to help. Now, we want it to dance across the screen. So what we're going to do next, and this is going to happen in our frame by frame PNGs, is move every time across the screen in order to get that action. And there you have it, folks. You have made a simple stop motion animation. This is not where it ends. This is just the beginning, because we want this to walk across the page. We would have to move each single image. We can try to bring another movie down. Don't forget, it's fast. You could try to crop it. Crop to fill. The problem is that image is there. You can't crop it and center it. It only puts it to the top left. It justifies it. So you can't physically take the first sequences of moving skeletons and then say, let's move it across. You're going to have to do that as you build your frame by frame. So don't think that you can have it walk across unless you've done that in Photoshop. Okay, guys, that's your first exercise in using Photoshop, using image to create multiple still frames without sketching every single one. All right, guys, good luck with that. Don't forget iMovie auto saves. You could literally click backwards. It's going to say, what do you want to call it? Blah, 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 blah. Call it whatever you want. Click OK. And there you have it. It looks like it says, I don't really care too much. But anyway, there you go. Thanks, guys. Good luck. Have at it.